So race, I think we all know what that means, and we are in a very multicultural society, particularly where I am here in London. There are all races everywhere you look, and the school is very multicultural too. So yourselves that any form of racism, it is wrong, it is distressing for the people on the receiving end of that. And of course there's questions about whether education is fair, whether the law is fair. So those are all things that, again, as an employer, you want to make sure that nobody is being put at a disadvantage because of their race or anything about their race. So just as it's a multicultural country, there are lots and lots of faiths, be it Christian, Judaism, Buddhists, all sorts of things, and various different denominations within those larger faith groups as well. And what that means is that whereas in the past this was very much a Christian country, that really has changed. Officially, our Queen is known as the Defender of the Faith, meaning the Christian faith. Now, Prince Charles has said that when he becomes king, he would actually like to change that and be known as Defender for Faiths in the plural, which perhaps reflects changing attitudes there. We all have a right to practice and believe whatever religion we want, as long as, of course, that doesn't cause harm to other people. There's been cases, Ash's Bakery, for example, was a Christian bakery who refused to make a cake for a gay marriage. It's a bit more complex than that, and there were views on both sides, because when different rights conflict, that's when we can get some battles and some discussions too. But basically, people are allowed to wear religious clothing, they are allowed to have their times to worship, they're allowed to keep their Sabbath days, wear their symbols, follow particular diets, whatever it is that their religion does demand, as long as that isn't causing undue harm to other people. Now, obviously, if it was something that was going to cause others physical harm, it would be perfectly okay to stop that. But if it's because somebody wants to wear a certain item of clothing or have a fast at certain times of the year, then that is fine. And in fact, as employers, we can be sensitive to those things. We can allow people to have time off for particular worship times. We can allow maybe even some leniency when people are fasting, that kind of thing. So sex, unfortunately, there is still a pay gap. On average, women still do earn a lot less than men, even though that is changing. We are underrepresented in top jobs, even though girls tend to do better at school, generally speaking. But you'll know as well that there's still subjects that are seen as very much traditionally one or the other. I know that most of my business students are male. I know that most of the A-level English group is female, and the childcare groups are nearly all female. And actually there's no reason why that should be in any of those cases. It is just old seated attitudes and expectations. If you're a girl and you want to be a top businesswoman, or you want to be a physicist or an astronaut, you go for it. If you're a boy and you want to be a childcare expert, you want to be a baker, you want to be, I don't know, a ballet dancer, go and do it. Go and do it, because you really don't have to be tied down by those things. And where this is not allowed, that is a case of discrimination. We are obliged to give men and women, boys and girls, equal chances. And sexual orientation, finally, obviously discrimination does still happen towards gay people. They're fighting back somewhat. We have things like gay pride happening now. Marriage is now legal for same-sex couples in this country at least, and they have the same rights as any other couple. I think it's important to avoid stereotypes. There is no typical gay man or lesbian woman. So we're nearly done. We've done our 9. Remember that the Equality Act means that there shouldn't be any discrimination as a result of any of those 9 characteristics. Also, as I said at the beginning, sometimes that means making reasonable adjustments. Reasonable adjustments is an important phrase, and that refers to anything that can reasonably be done to help somebody to take part equally in whatever is going on. So it's not just about treating everybody the same. And actually, being inclusive and having a diverse workforce and having a diversity of people visiting your business, that benefits everyone. It means that we gain from a range of different experiences and cultures, and that is good for all of us. Okay, so let's see what you can remember. See if you can list the 9 characteristics which are protected by the Equality Act. I'm going to just give you 30 seconds to think about that. Okay, how did you do? Did you get them? So the 9 are age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, sex, and sexual orientation. If you got all or most of those, you've done really well. Well done, good job. Okay, so we've come to the end now. If you do have any questions, please do just ask me. If you're one of my students, then obviously you know how to get in touch. If you're not and you've watched this, that's still fine as well. Just leave a comment on here, on my Facebook page, on the YouTube channel. That's absolutely fine. I'll do my best to answer you. And so thanks a lot, and I'll see you again when we do the next video. My contact details are also there. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay safe, stay home, protect the NHS, and don't forget, go out and give them all a big clap on Thursday evening.